Fellow Americans, we are here today to inform you about a very controversial issue that all started back in December of 1791.
On December 15, 1791, the Bill of Rights was adopted by the U.S. government, which means the first-time amendments of the U.S. Constitution would come into play.
That being said, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, also known as the Second Amendment, will become very valuable to the American people.
Today, people obtain firearms to protect themselves and their loved ones, and are granted freedom from the Second Amendment.
The current laws permit the carrying and concealed carrying of firearms only in certain states, and the laws are more restricted in certain areas where carrying a gun should be considered a threat.
Business owners in America today need a way to protect themselves in case of any external threats.
We believe that if more people are carrying concealed weapons for protection, acts of violence that have been terrorizing our country could be easily prevented.
It can be argued that with more guns comes more violence, but we do not believe this argument is valid. This is like saying food makes people obese.
Having more gun prevention doesn't mean criminals won't get guns. It just means other civilians caught in the crossfire will have no way to protect themselves.
We believe that it is essential to have the right to bear arms because it will bring safety and comfort to the citizens of the United States.
If citizens have the right to possess and carry firearms more often, it will allow them to control their own safety and possibly the safety of others around them.
All right. Well, I think that it would create for a safer society to have citizens who are properly trained with firearms to be able to take their own safety and the safety of those around them into consideration when they go out.
The argument of more guns bringing more violence is ridiculous.
If people want to hurt somebody, like they will, whether the gun's bought legally or illegally, the person wants to shoot people. I don't think that you can stop that with laws.
The shooter won't care if their weapon is legal or not. The shooter will get a gun no matter what, but other civilians having guns to protect themselves in a tragic situation is the reason why gun carrying laws should be more lenient.
Allowing citizens to have the right to possess firearms in their homes is very important to many people. It allows a sense of safety in many people's households, knowing that one can have the ability to protect their family and loved ones in case of an emergency.
You know, there's a difference between kicking down a door, there's a 72-year-old woman, and there's kicking down a door, there's a 72-year-old woman with a shotgun. One of those is way worse for the guy kicking the door.
The ultimate civilian fear, mass tragedies, cannot truly be eliminated altogether. However, they can be cut short and possibly even prevented if there is a civilian with a firearm there to stop the impending attack. Even the thought of a civilian possibly having a firearm may prevent the shooter to even act in the first place.
What happened in Las Vegas where 58 people were murdered and over 500 injured calls on the United States Congress to take action to protect the American people.
I think that someone's much more likely to shoot up a place where they believe there is nobody with a gun than if they thought there was even a 50% chance that a single person in that crowd had a gun. They might think twice about doing that.
Anyone operating a business ranging from running a register at a gas station to handling boatloads of money should be able to possess a firearm to comfort themselves with safety, knowing that they could protect themselves if they were to encounter a dangerous situation.
It's just another form of security. It's a form of insurance. You don't know if the person who's coming in wants to rob you or kill you.
You never know what the shooter has in mind when they come to your place of work with a weapon, so having an extra layer of security via the business owner's own personal gun for defense makes sense to ensure nothing goes terribly wrong.
Other measures need to be put in place in order to properly protect the people at school in the event of a shooting. Having only one school police officer with a gun to protect thousands of students on campus is not enough to prevent mass casualties.
With teachers possessing guns, they will be able to properly protect themselves and their students from a shooter on campus.
This could benefit for the safety of the children. We've had a lot of tragedies happen on campuses where essentially the only form of security against that is lock the door, turn off the lights, hide behind a desk, and hope nobody tries to open that door.
The knowledge that teachers and school police officers have strong, effective, and quick measures in place to prevent a shooter from committing a massive assault may prevent school shootings in the first place.
Others may argue that having guns in places like schools and businesses would bring more violence and possibly more accidental injuries and even death.
If teachers carry guns on campus, will those guns be used against them if they don't know how to use it? Will a gun accidentally go off and hurt a student? So I think that at this point, unless teachers are weapons trained, I don't feel that teachers should have weapons on campus.
We believe that this is not the case. If the business employees and school teachers are properly trained on how to handle their weapons, accidental injuries and deaths can be easily prevented.
As long as personnel are trained and comfortable in firing a weapon, their ability to do just that would only bring additional safety to themselves and people around them.
They come in shooting, if they come in and shoot one of your customers, now you know that they're there for violent intent, you should have another form of defense. There are some crazy people in this world, and that's just a reality.
In the end, people that want to use guns with bad intentions will get the guns no matter what, but this accounts for the tiny percentage of gun owners.
Most carry weapons with no intentions of hurting others with that weapon, unless first acted upon.
If carrying weapons is legal, it will allow these common citizens to carry around their personal safety device that can be used in the event of an emergency.
The ability to prevent an attack on oneself or their home using force if needed should be a right for citizens in this country.
Additional measures can be put into place to limit the amount of accidental firings of such weapons, which is already low to begin with.
More people carrying guns in public would also limit the occurrence and destruction of large-scale shootings. Guns could be used to stop a shooter in progress and even prevent shootings from happening in the first place. Less gun control and more gun rights would be extremely beneficial to the safety of our country.